He steps through the revolving glass doors and there is his mother kneeling in the dusty gutter. Obina's polished shoes freeze on the pavement. A taxi horn blares, vendors shout, but his gaze locks on the woman counting coins into a cracked plastic bowl. Her shoulders twitch at every passing footstep, as if each pedestrian could kick away her earnings. He adjusts his tie 3 times, a habit he never breaks. The law firm receptionist inside waves for him to move aside. Automatic doors hiss shut behind him. Obina edges closer, briefcase dangling, eyes never leaving the crouched figure. Traffic spits grit onto her headscarf. She pauses, lifts 1 coin toward the sun, lips counting silent numbers. Obina's jaw tightens. The coin glints, and so do the tiny scars on her wrist, scars that match an old childhood memory. A security guard from the tower marches over, baton slapping palm. No begging on corporate frontage, mama. Shift. The woman flinches, stands too quickly, bowl almost tipping. Coins spray across the curb. Some roll under parked motorbikes. One clinks against Obina's shoe. The guard jabs a thumb toward the street. Impatience cracks in his voice. Obina steps between them, blocking the baton. "I've got this," he says, breath clipped. Guard shrugs, radio buzzing, and returns to the glass doors. The woman keeps her head low, headscarf shadowing her face. Obina crouches, gathers coins into his palm, stretches the hand toward her. A bus roars past, wind whipping her scarf, revealing her features. His spine stiffens, sweat beads slide down his temple. She snatches the bowl, eyes wide, pupils darting like trapped birds. He opens his mouth, yet nothing comes out, air stuck behind clenched teeth. She backs away, 1 step, 2, bowl rattling with the remaining coins. A motorcycle zips between them, horn squealing. Obina sidesteps the exhaust blast, raises both palms in peace. "Ma!" The word barely escapes before she turns. Her sandals slap the tarmac, heading for the pedestrian lane where hawkers shove grilled corn at commuters. Obina pushes through the lunch crowd, suit jacket catching on elbows and handbags. She weaves between honking cars, clutching the bowl to her chest. A taxi door swings open, blocks Obina's path. He stumbles, recovers, keeps moving. Ahead, she slips into the shadow of an overcrowded minibus. The bus conductor yells routes, passengers cram inside. She doesn't climb aboard. Instead, she ducks behind the vehicle, disappearing toward the public buses further down. Obina circles the bus, scanning faces, breathing sharp through nostrils. No sign. Street musicians strike drums, drowning his calls. A single coin remains on the asphalt, winking up at him. He kneels, picks it up, thumb brushing the worn edges. Next to the coin lies a laminated card, corner bent, half tucked beneath a discarded newspaper. He lifts it. The lamination is scratched, but the printed words shout louder than any drum. Name, Nkemdelim Kalu. Charge, data tampering and fraud. Release date, 3 months ago. Obina's throat works, but no sound forms. He reads the date again, eyes narrowing to slits, then folds the card into his wallet with stiff fingertips. The brass coin joins the wallet, snug behind a photo of his university graduation. A street hawker waves sachets of water under his nose. Obina buys one, tears the plastic with his teeth, gulps until cold drips down his chin. He wipes his mouth with his sleeve, gaze scanning the road where buses belch smoke and passengers jostle. He spots the retreating figure of the guard near the glass tower. Obina strides back, shoes clicking like metronomes. "Which way did that woman go?" he asks, voice low, urgent. Guard pops gum, nods toward the bus park. Probably vanished into the noon rush. They always do. Obina's nostrils flare. He turns without a word. A suited man from the interview panel exits the tower, phone to ear. He sees Obina, offers a polite nod. "Mr. Kalu, HR will be in touch." Then the man merges into the sidewalk stream, oblivious. Obina watches, chest rising, falling, the job promise hanging in the humid air. A digital billboard above flashes the firm's logo, bright, confident. Below it, the gutter still holds a few stray coins from the scattered bowl. He bends, scoops the remaining coins, pockets them. Taxis screech, a loudspeaker advertises discounted data bundles, pigeons flutter from the fountain edge. Obina heads toward the bus park, steps quick, heel-tapping impatience. He passes a wall plastered with political posters praising Honorable Toriro Chisulo. The minister's smile beams from the paper, handshake frozen in optimism. Obina doesn't slow. He threads through roadside stalls selling spicy suya, the meat smoke clinging to his suit. At the park, buses rev and hawkers chant destinations. He scans faces, office clerks, students, exhausted mothers with toddlers. No sight of the woman with prison scars. A ticket seller shoves a timetable chart at him. Obina waves it away, pulls out the release card, studies the address of the halfway shelter stamped on the back. He signals a waiting tricycle, hops in, knees scraping the plastic roof. Kika driver, government halfway home, fast. The driver guns the engine, tires spit gravel. Traffic snarls ahead. They swerve through an alley, near miss with a fruit cart. Halfway down the alley, the tricycle sputters, coughs, stalls. Driver curses, yanks choke cable, tries again. Nothing. Obina's fist taps his knee. He throws a note to the driver, jumps out. He takes to foot, lungs pulling humid air, briefcase swinging. Horn blasts echo, steam rises from roadside cooking pots, flies buzz. Ahead, the shelter gate comes into view, metal sheets rusted but standing. He pushes through the gate, a receptionist peers over reading glasses. "I'm looking for Nkemdilim Kalu," he says, voice steady despite rapid breaths. The receptionist flips a ledger, fingers sliding down names. "Checked out 6 days ago," she replies, not looking up. Obina exhales through his nose, grip tightening on the briefcase handle. He thanks her, turns, steps back onto the street. A city bus whooshes past, spray of dust swirling around him. He stands still, suit now streaked with grime, eyes tracking pedestrians one by one. In his pocket, the brass coin presses into his palm, edge digging, refusing to let him forget. Taxi horns rise again, the afternoon sun climbs higher, and somewhere in the moving crowd a woman counts coins into a bowl that has lost 3 pieces. Eve slams his backpack on a chipped table inside Jaido's internet hub. 12 outdated desktops hum in the cramped room, fans rattling. Obina wipes a smudge from his briefcase, then checks the doorway. 2 teenagers argue over game tokens. No one else notices them. Eve pulls out a battered laptop, keys mismatched colors. He plugs in a prepaid modem, yellow rubber band snapping against his wrist. 5 minutes and we ghost, he mutters, screen casting blue light across his glasses. Obina opens the prison release card, lays it beside the keyboard. "Need everything tied to that case file," he says, voice low. Eve nods, starts tapping. Code scrolls, lines of green on black. A pop-up flashes red. Firewall flagged. Eve's knee jolts the table. He reaches for a portable antenna, repositions it, tries again. Connection stalls. Room lights flicker as the power strip strains under multiple chargers. Behind them, the cafe manager curses a dead ceiling fan. Obina's fingers drum the brass coin in his pocket. Eve smacks enter. A siren icon appears. The system logs unauthorized ping. He yanks the modem free. Printer starts churning unwanted pages. The manager storms over. "Who's burning my ink?" he barks, eyes darting. Eve stuffs laptop into the backpack. Obina collects scattered printouts without reading. They dart past the counter, down the stairwell into muggy alley air. Motorbikes buzz like angry bees. Obina raises an arm. A green and yellow Kika Zoom swerves close. They hop in, driver spits sunflower seeds, accelerates. Behind 2 uniformed officers exit the cafe, scanning the street. Kika slips into traffic, horns masking the sputtering 2-stroke engine. At a red light, the engine coughs, stalls. Driver curses, bangs the handlebar. Eve hops out, pushes the tricycle to the roadside. Sweat darkens his hoodie. Obina fishes cash, pays, waves the driver away. Across the street, a mobile phone shop displays cheap tablets. They enter, fluorescent bulbs buzz overhead. Afe buys a used netbook, pays extra for no receipt. Shop owner shrugs, wipes grease from the keyboard with a tissue. Outside, they squeeze between parked buses toward a small courtyard cafe. Plastic chairs, weak Wi-Fi, but no ID check. Afe boots the netbook, thumbs a fresh SIM into a dongle. Second attempt starts, code slower on the cheap machine. Obina scans a photocopy of the charge sheet supplying case numbers. Afe mutters, rubber bands snapping faster. Progress bar crawls, then a green tick pops. Archive opened. PDF ledgers fill the screen, numbers blurred by bad scanning. Afe zooms, highlighted cells blink. Two signatures appear, N. Kalu and D. Mbeki Foundation Auditor. Obina leans closer, his breath fogs the dirty screen. Margins show tamper marks, red arrows pointing to overwritten amounts. Timestamp predates arrest by 1 day. Eve prints the page to virtual PDF, saves to 3 cloud drives. Then he slaps the lid shut, exhale shaky. Got it, he says, voice breaking the cafe's dull murmur. Evening shadows stretch across Umoru's night market by the time they arrive. String lights sway above stalls, smoke from grilled suya drifts. Obina searches faces, shoulders tense. Near a pile of second-hand clothes, a woman recites numbers under her breath, pointing at each folded shirt. Obina steps closer, the counting stops. Mama Nkem looks up, bowl absent, fingers still tapping imaginary bars. He stops a meter away, palms open. She studies him, eyes shining under weak bulb light. No embrace, only silence filled by sizzling meat nearby. Alucci barges through with phone on gimbal, red live light glowing. Viewers, 2 decades of drama under one lamplight, she says, voice crisp. Street crowd gathers, curious heads forming a loose ring. Mama Nkem covers her face with one hand, counting halted. Obina turns to Alucci. Camera down, his jaw clenches. Alucci lowers angle but keeps streaming. Comments flash on her screen. One user types, "Is that the accountant's scapegoat?" She tilts the phone to Mama Nkem. Your side, madam. Mama Nkem drops her hand, exhales. I signed what they needed, she says, words flat. They promised his future would stay bright if I stayed silent. Obina's shoulders rise, fall, rise again. Motorbike revs drown the pause. Eve edges closer, holding the netbook like a fragile egg. Alucci zooms on the device. What's that? Proof the signatures were doctored, Eve says, voice loud enough for the mic. Mama Nkem's gaze locks on the screen. She steps back. No more spotlight, she murmurs, counting stalls beside her. 1, 2, 3. Alucci angles the phone upward, capturing her profile against sputtering lamp. Do stories end well for women like you? She asks. Mama Nkem cups her elbows, weight shifting. I just need the boy safe, she replies. Alucci turns to camera, brow raised, end stream with a hard thumb press. Nearby, vendor claps metal tongs, snapping them shut for attention. Market noise surges, the ring of onlookers disperses. Obina touches his mother's wrist, she doesn't pull away. A police siren wails somewhere beyond the stalls. Eve pockets the netbook. Obina guides Mama Nkem toward a side alley, footsteps quick. Midway, a battered sedan blocks their path, interior lights off. Engine idles, window cracked, faint cigar scent escaping. Car door opens 2 inches, then closes, no one exits. Obina steers his mother back the other way. A group of teenagers on skateboards rolls through, forcing them to pause. By the time the boards pass, the sedan is gone. Alucci jogs up, breath short. That car's plate matches Mbeki Logistics, she says. Phone still recording, but lens down. Obina nods, eyes scanning rooftops for more watchers. Eve raises his wrist, yellow band snaps. We need safer ground, he says, voice hoarse. Mama Nenkem resumes counting, streetlights this time, 1, 2, 3, 4. They reach an all-night bakery. Warm bread smell drifts out. Owner eyes them but gestures to vacant table. Inside, fluorescent glare reveals grime on Obina's cuffs. Eve opens netbook again, connects to bakery Wi-Fi. Upload speeds crawl. Progress bar freezes at 64%. Router resets unexpectedly, dropping connection. He mutters, restarts upload, sets phone hotspot as backup. Battery dips to 12%. Alucci plugs her power bank into the netbook, brow furrowed. Outside, a motorcycle slows, rider scanning interior. Bakery owner steps out, shoos him along, rider revs away. Obina checks his brass coin, thumb rolling its edge. Upload hits 100, confirmation ping, soft but clear. Eve grins, closes lid. Clouds loaded, multiple mirrors, he says. Mama Nenkem bites a corner of bread, chewing slow. She lifts her gaze to Alucci. Make them hear the numbers, she says, voice barely above oven fan noise. Alucci nods once. She taps the phone, scheduling a post for dawn. Across the street, neon sign flickers, half the letters dead. Midnight nears. Bakery shutters rattle in rising wind. Obina closes his mother's fingers around a fresh bottle of water. She stops counting just for a moment and sips. Police siren howls again, closer this time, echo bouncing off tin roofs. Eve powers down gear, slings backpack. They step back into the night, staying close, street lamps buzzing overhead. Mama Nenkem looks at Alucci, voice steady. Do stories ever end well for women like me? Alucci doesn't answer. She just hits record and lets the silence roll. Obina's phone rings before sunrise. Unknown number, clipped voice. HR requests your presence by 8. Dress formal. Call ends. No room for reply. By 7:30, he stands in the tower lobby again, shoes dusty from the night market. Receptionist in silver suit hands him a visitor pass without looking up. Elevator climbs, panels reflecting his tight grip on the briefcase. Top floor boardroom smells of polished wood and oud. Chief Dauda Mbeki waits alone, humming a high-life riff, gold pen twirling. 2 leather folders sit on the table, one burgundy, one black. Sit, young man. Mbeki's voice is syrup over gravel. Obina sits, spine straight. Mbeki opens the burgundy folder, slides a contract forward. 10 million naira annual company house, school fees when you have children. Sign in the past dissolves like salt. Obina's hands stay on his lap. What past, sir? Mbeki chuckles, hum slipping. The files you and that street vlogger teased online. People forget fast if paid to. He opens the black folder. Glossy photos of Mama Nenkem leaving the bakery, time-stamped. Obina's shoulders square. I won't sign. Mbeki stops humming. Door clicks. Gora Kadiri walks in, hearing aid glinting. He shuts the door, sets a heavy envelope on the table, cash peeking out. Gora speaks, tone low. Refused twice, the python comes back hungry. Obina rises, takes the brass coin from his pocket, taps it once on the glossy photo. Keep your money. He walks to the exit. Gora blocks, but Mbeki raises a hand. Let the boy think, Mbeki says, voice mild again. Obina leaves. The door closes behind him, hum muffled. Downstairs, he dials Alucci. Record everything, he says. She replies, already rolling. Street outside buzzes. He spots Aoife waving from a battered sedan borrowed from a cousin. Netbook balanced on Aoife's knees, cables snaked to a portable drive. Got an encrypted voicemail off Foundation servers, Aoife says as Obina slides in. Password laughs at me. They drive to an unfinished apartment block, rooftop safe from prying eyes. Wind whips tarps. Mama Nenkem sits on an upturned paint bucket counting distant billboards. Obina briefs her on the offer. She cracks a dry smile. Coins talk, so does greed, she says, fingers pausing. Eve plugs gear into a generator jack. Upload starts, stalls at 12%, signal weak, steel rebar blocks the modem. He drags a plastic chair closer to the edge, holds device high, connection crawls. Obina shields the screen from glare. An hour later, decrypted waveform pops. Eve plays it, static, then Honor Toriro's voice stuttering. Sign on Friday, Dauda. The Marsh people can protest all they like. Obina checks his watch. Friday sits 2 days away. Oluchi's jaw tightens. She sends a clipped text to her followers. Big leak loading. Generator sputters, fuel low. Audio cuts. Eve saves file. Laptop battery at 9%. They pack quickly. Afternoon heat drapes the city when Mama Nkem insists on visiting a free clinic for hypertension meds. Obina wants company. She waves him off. I know the route, she says, bowl tucked under arm. Clinic queue spills onto pavement. Oluchi positions herself across the street, live streaming market chatter while Lens catches Mama Nkem in background. Comments scroll. A justice. Now who's the older lady? A white panel van rolls up, no license plates. Side door slides. 2 men jump out, grab Mama Nkem's arms. Bowl clatters, coins scatter across clinic steps. Oluchi's camera jerks to focus. She shouts, sprinting. Stream viewers spike. Frantic emojis flood the screen. Van door slams, engine revs. Oluchi hammers on the panel. Lens inches from metal. Kidnapper elbows her aside. Phone slips, feed tilts, but stays live. Shouts erupt. Commuters swarm, blocking the van's path. Driver punches throttle. Tires spin, yet crowd presses forward, banging windows. Someone throws a crate. Windshield cracks. Van lurches, cuts onto side street, gains speed, disappears. Oluchi snatches her phone, catches her breath, yells into mic. They took her. Share the plateless van clip now. Signal flickers, battery warning blinks, stream drops. Obina and Ife arrive minutes later, alerted by push notifications. Clinic steps still dotted with coins. Obina kneels, gathers them, jaw locked. Eve scans replayed footage, notes a fading logistics logo on rear door shadow, Mbeki's company initials. Police cruiser pulls up. Officers question bystanders, jot minimal notes, then leave. Oluchi curses, uploads full clip to every channel she owns. Views climb, hashtags bloom. Evening settles, they regroup inside a low-rent hostel room, fan squeaking overhead. Obina paces, coin rolling between fingers. Eve raises the netbook, shows the decrypted file stored offline. We drop this tonight. City wakes up raging tomorrow. Power in the hostel flickers, plunges room into darkness. Generator outside coughs, lights return. Someone knocks twice, paused, then once, wrong pattern. All freeze. Gora's voice seeps through door seams, calm, rural proverb trailing. Goat that complains too loud invites the knife. Shadow under the door shifts. Eve kills laptop screen. Oluchi wedges chair against handle. Second knock, harder. Fire escape window sticks. Obina shoulders it, rusty latch gives. They climb onto narrow ledge, 4 floors up, humid night air pressing. Street below lined with corrugated roofs. Gora's silhouette fills doorway as he forces it, wood splintering. He spots open window, steps forward. Tinnitus mask lets him miss clatter of descending feet. Group edges along ledge to adjacent balcony, slips inside an unlocked apartment. Inside, an elderly couple watches football, surprised gasps, then sympathy nods as Oluchi flashes plea for silence. Down the corridor, stairwell door opens to alley. They exit into back lane, garbage bags piled high. Taxi rank sits a block away, drivers lounge, radios crackling. Obina waves money, they pile into a faded blue cab. As the cab pulls off, Oluchi's phone buzzes, a new message from an anonymous number. She's at River Warehouse, come alone. Obina snatches the phone, eyes narrow. He pockets coin, grips it tight enough to bite skin. Afe reopens laptop, hotspot tethering from Oluchi's depleted phone. Upload to cloud resumes at 80%, inches upward. Cab rattles over pothole. Progress bar freezes, reconnects, continues. Sirens wail 2 streets behind. Maybe police, maybe worse. Eve clicks send. Audio file blast to subscribers and 4 media outlets. Done. Confirmation ping, soft but sure. Obina nods once, voice level. Next stop, warehouse. Cab driver glances in mirror, hesitant. Obina flashes extra cash. Blue cab merges into traffic, taillights fading toward the river district, while city phones buzz with Toriro's stuttered confession looping across every screen. Cab tires crunch wet gravel outside the river warehouse. Obina jumps out first, brass coin clenched tight, rain starting to spit. Eve shoulders a duffel packed with cables. Alucci slips her phone into silent record. Corrugated walls rise 3 stories, windows smeared with algae. They skirt a stack of leaking drums, reach a side door padlocked but rust-eaten. Eve slides a screwdriver, metal groans, latch snaps. Inside smells of diesel and river mud. Single bulb dangles, revealing Mama Yenkem tied to a chair, bowl on floor like a joke. Gora leans against a pillar, back turned, talking on radio. Obina signals, 2 fingers, then fist. Alucci creeps left, phone aimed. Ife edges toward fuse box. Crate lid slips under Ife's boot, clatters. Gora spins, pistol up, tinnitus humming too loud to catch Ife's muttered curse, yet eyes spot movement. "Who's there?" His shout echoes. Obina steps forward, palms out. "Let her go, Gora." Gora smirks, proverb slow. Python still hungry. He fires at a beam. Wood chips rain. Eve yanks main breaker. Lights die. Warehouse plunges into darkness, only Alucci's phone screen glowing. Gora's shot goes wild. Ricochet pings metal drum. Obina grabs Mama Enkem's chair, drags toward door. Backup generator kicks, emergency lamps buzz on. 3 more guards rush in from loading bay. Numbers bad. Obina releases chair, shoves his mother toward shadows. "Find exit," he whispers, voice shredded. Alucci's feed glitches as she dashes sideways, catching half a second of Mama Yenkem slipping behind crates. Eve throws a smoke flare from duffel, plume rises, masking sightlines. Alarms blare. Gora orders retreat, coughing in gray haze. Team escapes through broken window, splash into mud bank. Rain now steady, washing smoke off clothes. Mama Yenkem shakes, wrists red from rope. Eve checks phone. Midnight. Alucci wipes lens. "Gala starts tomorrow night," she says, breath fogging. Obina nods. Thunder replies. Next afternoon, Umoru Convention Arena buzzes like a kicked hive. Security drones hover, banners flaunt pipeline renderings over Gerba Marsh. Obina wears usher jacket 1 size small, tie plain, badge scanned at staff gate. Brass coin presses against ribs. Back alley hosts a white tech van. Inside, multiple hotspots tethered, rubber band snapping. Alucci climbs scaffolding to rooftop, tripod unfolding. Mama Yenkem hides in safe house with volunteer medics. She refused hospital, muttering about paperwork traps. Inside hall, chandeliers glare off polished floor. Chief Mbeki strides in, Ankara suit blazing emerald, humming low. Hunter Toriro follows, gloves pristine, eyes darting. Gora trails 2 steps back, ear buzzing, hand grazing jacket pocket. Event host taps mic, giant screen fires up, hologram of pipeline snaking across 3D marsh. Audience claps, glasses clink. Obina wheels a drinks cart, mapping exits, counting guards. 1, 2, 3 at stage left. In the van, Eve launches feed hack. Firewall denies entry. Second try, same. He slams desk, retunes antenna, spots unused satellite uplink on security schematic. Third attempt hooks, internal stream mirrors on his monitor. Connected, he whispers. Alucci receives green icon, starts silent countdown with fingers. Stage lights dim for keynote video, moment chosen. Ife injects taped confession audio into arena speakers, nothing. System auto-mutes foreign files. Obina notices glitch, steps behind curtain, whispers into headset mic taped to collar. Plan B. Eve triggers blackout fail-safe. Main screens go dead, spotlights drop. Room gasps, emergency lights glow crimson. Obina strides onto stage, grabs live mic from baffled host. Tariro stammers off script. Mbecky's hum freezes mid-note. Obina raises coin, pinched between fingers, voice steady. This bought my silence once, no more. He gestures upward. Aoife streams confession through emergency PA. Tariro's voice fills hall, stutter clear, bribery numbers precise. Guests murmur, some record on phones, others back away from scandal. Mbeki booms, fabrication, but sweat beads on brow. Obina cuts him off, flipping to second file, ledger scan magnified on sidewall, doctored cells outlined. Mbeki lunges for mic. Obina sidesteps, crowd sees desperation. Backstage, Gora snaps safety off pistol, tinnitus ringing louder under alarm tones. He storms forward, pushes through ropes, gun aimed at Obina's back. Security hesitates, unsure who the threat is. Oluchi's rooftop lens zooms, red record flashing. She shouts into headset, "He's armed!" Eve reroutes arena cameras to project Gora on all screens. Audience turns as one, collective gasp ripples. Gora freezes, sudden spotlight trapping him. Only now the room erupts in screams. Two guards tackle from left, pistol skids across floor. Gora rolls, elbows one guard, tries for weapon, but heel of a guest's shoe pins his wrist. Tariro backs toward exit, collides with another guest, glasses falling, panic widening, stutter into silence. Mbecky's pen snaps in his fist, ink spotting silk sleeve. Police assigned to VIP detail finally surge forward, cuffs ready. Crowd parts, phones high, flashes strobing. Obina stands center stage, coin still visible, chest heaving. Sirens grow outside as city units converge. Eve's battery warning blinks. Rooftop wind rattles Oluchi's mic. Security leads Gora off stage, his proverb lost beneath booze. Mbeki tries to exit side door, but journalists block path. Questions fired rapid. Tariro surrenders to police, head down, gloves shaking. Arena lights restore full glow. Hologram flickers, pipeline image dissolving pixel by pixel. Obina steps back from dais, eyes scanning for any last threat. Oluchi's voice crackles over earpiece. "Whole city watching. Stay sharp." He nods, slips coin into pocket, and walks toward the curtain, unaware of the figure waiting just beyond the spotlight's edge. Spotlight fades as Obina steps behind the curtain. A hand clamps his shoulder. He whirls, fist half raised. Detective Aduke flashes badge, nods. "Safe corridor this way. Media swarm the other exit." She hustles him through service hallway. TV screens on walls replay the confession loop, audio grainy. Mbecky's voice cracks under questioning. Tariro's stutter fills each pause. Uniformed officers trot past, zip ties dangling. Loading dock doors swing open to night air thick with sirens. Police vans idle, blue strobe scraping warehouse walls across the street. Gora sits cuffed in back seat, head tipped, hearing aid missing. He spots Obina, spits on van floor. Reporters flood parking lot, mics up. Detective blocks them, ushers Obina into unmarked car. Backseat holds Aoife, hoodie soaked, netbook on lap. Battery at 3%, screen still streaming live chat. Oluchi waves from her scooter, helmet visor fogged. She zooms off, viewers riding shotgun through buzzing streets. Hashtag Free the Marsh trends by dawn. Clips of pipeline hologram melting rack up millions. Morning newspapers slap kiosks before sunrise. Front page, hero lawyer exposes billion-dollar scam. Obina lowers the paper, steps into civil courthouse, coin warm in palm. Mama Nkem stands beside him, fresh shirt, wrists bandaged where rope burned. Courtroom packed. Judge reviews old conviction file on monitor, brow climbing. State prosecutor moves to vacate, defense nods. Gavel cracks, conviction erased, record sealed. Obina exhales, hands steady now. Mama and Kim counts ceiling panels, 1, 2, 3, then stops midway, smile twitching. Outside, microphones thrust. She shields face, slips into taxi. Driver pulls into traffic before press can chase. Across town, Mbekki's bail hearing draws equal crowd. Defense lawyers argue poor health. Prosecutor counters with flight risk. Judge grants bail at astronomical figure. Relatives wire funds within hour. Mbekki waddles out, ankle monitor blinking beneath tailored cuff. Tariro not so lucky. Ministry colleagues desert, bail denied. He leaves courtroom flanked by officers, stutter swallowed by camera flashes. Public outrage spikes, protest banners bloom over flyovers. Graffiti tags pipeline signs with single word, suspend. Energy Commission convenes emergency session. Chair announces contract freeze pending environmental review. Fishermen in Gerba Marsh celebrate with cracked drums, videos circulate. Pipeline investors dump stock, tickers bleed red. Obina lands short-term role at Public Defender's Unit, desk cramped, files stacked. First morning, copier jams twice, lights flicker. He shrugs, feeds paper again, rhythm steady. Coin rests in blazer pocket, reminder never far. Evening breeze carries stew aroma near Central Train Depot. Makeshift stall, blue tarp roof, wooden benches. Mama Nenkum ladles pepper soup into chipped bowls, steam spiraling. Former inmates line up, vouchers from charity covering cost. She sees Obina approach, wipes ladle on apron. He drops brass coin into tip jar, clinks loud. No change, he says, grin small. She chuckles, serves him extra yam slice. Oluchi arrives on scooter, phone set to record but lens capped. Off the clock, she tells Mama Nkem, taking seat. Eve jogs up, waving printed article praising anonymous hacker. Tech firm wants interview, he says, breathless. Police cruiser rolls by slowly, officers scanning vendors. One nods at Obina, recognition brief. Radio inside cruiser crackles about Mbekki missing check-in window. Car accelerates, siren whooping once before fading. News breaks minutes later. Ankle monitor found in private jet hangar. Suspect fled. Crowd at soup stand murmurs, heads shake. Mama Yinkum keeps serving, motion steady. Obina's hand tightens on spoon but releases. Night deepens, lanterns flicker, generators hum. City feeds refresh with bounty notice on runaway tycoon. Oluchi slips lens cap off, captures bowls sliding across counter. Gentle exchange of coins, quiet smiles. She uploads without caption, views climb anyway. Across town, Tariro sits in prison infirmary, glove tan lines stark on wrists. TV bolted to wall replays marsh dancers celebrating contract halt, his own voice stammering over bribe amounts. He turns away, blanket pulled to chin. Gerba Marsh sunrise shows cranes idle, investors absent. Migratory birds skim water where survey stakes once stood. Local child retrieves a plastic marker, tosses it aside, splash echoes. Back at the stall, generator sputters. Light dims, customers shift. Eve bangs casing, engine coughs, relights. Mama Unkum pats his shoulder, returns to ladle. Obina checks watch, late for night shift at legal aid hotline. He rises, pockets coin, leaves half-finished bowl. See you dawn, he says. She nods, counting benches this time, 1 through 5, all occupied. He walks toward station, city buzz lower now. Billboard overhead shows his face next to word whistleblower. He shakes head, keeps moving. Phone rings, unknown caller. Tip on Mbekki sighting in foreign port. He ignores, keeps stride. Other hunters will chase. Streetlight flickers out as he passes. Another ignites ahead. Step steady, tie loose, purpose clear. Behind him, stall shutters down, last bowl washed. Mama Inkem pockets tiny daily profit, drops 1 brass coin into separate pouch, memory fund. City settles, yet hum of unfinished business hangs. Marsh Review Board meets next month, bail appeals queued, elections looming. Obina fades into pedestrian flow, coin tapping rhythm in pocket, ready for whatever breaks next.